Deep in the heart of the Texas forest, where ancient trees whisper secrets and shadows move when no one's looking, something sinister lurks. People who have ventured too deep into these woods have returned, changed. Others, they were never seen again. But those who survived tell chilling tales of encounters with witches, rituals in the dead of night, and forces beyond comprehension. Tonight we uncover 18 true stories of those who dared to enter and suffered the consequences. This is Attacked by Witches in the Texas Forest. A young man named Jake was camping with friends near the Sam Houston National Forest. They had heard legends of witches performing rituals deep within, but dismissed them as campfire tales. One night he woke up to whispers outside his tent. When he unzipped the flap, he saw a woman in tattered black robes standing by a tree, her eyes glowing red. Frozen in fear, Jake couldn't move. She raised her hand, revealing a symbol carved into her palm, bleeding, pulsing. The moment their eyes met, his body felt paralyzed, and a piercing shriek echoed through the woods. His friends found him the next morning, unconscious, with the same symbol burned onto his arm. He still doesn't know how it got there, and the mark never faded. In 2019, an experienced hiker named Linda ventured into the Big Thicket National Preserve, known for its dense wilderness. She had a GPS, supplies, and a planned route, but something drew her off the trail. A woman's laughter, high-pitched, echoing, came from the trees. She followed the sound and vanished. Search teams scoured the area for weeks, but all they found was her backpack sitting neatly by a tree with handwritten symbols scrawled in the dirt around it. Her phone was inside, still recording, but the last audio file? It was whispers repeating her name, over and over. Linda was never found. Two brothers, Mike and Aaron, went hunting in the Texas woods in 2005. As night fell, they stumbled upon a circle of wooden effigies, twisted human-like figures, hanging from trees. Suddenly, a dozen cloaked figures emerged from the darkness, chanting in a language neither of them recognized. One of them turned, revealing a grotesque, scarred face, and let out an inhuman screech. The brothers bolted. When they returned the next morning with authorities, the clearing was gone. No effigies, no markings, no sign that anyone had ever been there. But Mike's rifle? It was missing, and a bundle of sticks, tied with black thread, sat where he had dropped it. A group of campers near Davy Crockett National Forest reported a thick fog rolling in from nowhere. It carried voices, whispers of names they didn't recognize. One camper, Sarah, stepped into the fog and disappeared. The group searched frantically, calling her phone. When they finally found her, she was standing in a circle of dead grass, her eyes glazed over. She simply whispered, "They're watching." Sarah refused to speak about it afterward. But when they got back home, she began sleepwalking, waking up with muddy footprints in her room. She moved out of Texas shortly after, but to this day, she says she still hears the whispers. A man named Daniel lived in a cabin deep in the woods. He was a skeptic, never believed in ghosts, witches, or curses. But one night, he heard scratching at his door. Thinking it was an animal, he opened it and saw an old woman standing in the moonlight, her face hidden by a black hood. She spoke only one sentence: "Leave this place. You have 3 days." The next morning, he found his livestock slaughtered, strange symbols painted in blood on his barn. On the second night, he heard chanting outside his windows, dark figures moving between the trees. On the third day, he packed up and left forever. When he returned years later out of curiosity, his cabin was gone, vanished without a trace. These stories are not just legends. They are warnings. If you ever find yourself deep in the forests of Texas, and the night grows too silent, Or the air feels too heavy, turn back. Some things are better left undiscovered. Do you believe these stories? Or do you think they're just myths? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever experienced something similar, share your story below. And as always, stay safe.